What's going on, y'all? This is B. Taylor, and you are watching A Clean Bill of Wealth. First off, I want to thank you for clicking on this video. If you could do me a huge favor, please click like, subscribe, leave a comment if you feel compelled to, and then please share this video with as many people as you think are on the same level as you who have an interest in trying to build wealth. Now, what are we talking about with this video, right? It's really concerned with becoming debt-free, but beyond that, now that you're debt free, what happens next, right? And so I want to focus on that portion of this chapter in my life, right? So now that I've paid off the mortgage, I'm about 3 months, beyond becoming mortgage/debt free. And there's a few things that I noticed without having a mortgage. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Number one about those three things was, now that I have no mortgage, I also have no interest. Now, what does that mean? Now, historically, at the end of the year, when it was income tax season, the biggest debt that you have is obviously your mortgage for the typical American anyway. But what that meant is that we were able to write off the interest. Well, now that I have no mortgage, I'm not going to have any interest. Now, I did pay it off towards the middle of this year, so I am going to have some interest. But moving forward, especially starting next year and then the next tax season, I'm not going to be able to have that write-off. Now, with the new tax laws in place, that may not really matter, just because, there's this whole $10,000 tax, piece. So the mortgage may not matter in that sense, but historically, that was one of the I gotchas that seemed like, oh, wow, that's going to be a problem. So that's one thing. Number two, now that I have no mortgage, I also don't have an escrow. Now, what does that mean? When you have your mortgage payment, you're dealing with a number of things when you pay that monthly payment. You're talking about principal and interest. Then you're talking about homeowners insurance, as well as real estate taxes that you have to pay. Now, principal and interest is obviously a part of your mortgage, but then there's this thing called escrow, which combines, for the most part, your homeowner's insurance as well as your real estate tax. Now, with the mortgage being gone, I no longer have an escrow to pay into every month, so I have to be conscious about doing that myself. Why is that important? Well, when you think about homeowner's insurance, obviously that's something that you want to have, just like auto insurance. If you ever get into an accident, you're going to want insurance. You may pay a deductible, but then it takes care of everything else from there. Same principle with homeowners insurance. The other thing is the real estate tax. Now, obviously that's important, and depending on the county that you're in, you may have different pieces that you have to pay. Maybe it's a semi-annual payment, or maybe one lump sum payment that you have. But the significance there is, if you miss your payments on your real estate tax, there's a possibility of being caught up in a tax deed or a tax lien, depending on the state that you're in and the county that you're in for that state. The significance there is, there are predator investors who wait for people who don't pay their property taxes, and then it gets into this tax lien situation. When the county sees somebody who hasn't paid their taxes in years, they put their house up for auction to recover the cost of the unpaid real estate taxes. And so these predator investors find these situations, and they go ahead and pay those taxes. So if you have a $200,000 home, and let's just say you have $1,500 a year that you have in personal, or not personal, but property taxes, times 2 for being 2 years behind, the county may put that up for auction and sell to the highest bidder. So there could be a predatory investor who buys that lien for $5,000 or $6,000, wait for you to continue not paying that payment, and then they recover your home that you may be living in for $6,000. You think about that, that's not a good situation to be in. But a lot of times, after people become mortgage free, they fall into that particular scenario because they're not thinking about it. They're just thinking, hey, I'm mortgage free. I no longer have a mortgage. So you have to avoid that situation. It's very, very important that you do that. All right, so that's number two. The third thing and the final thing I'll talk about is my credit score. So after 3 months of becoming mortgage free, I noticed that my credit score has dipped over 30 points. Now, I look at that and I'm like, I really didn't do anything wrong here. I thought I was doing the right thing. Why is my credit score decreasing? Well, the way the credit score works, your credit report is based on, how reliable you are with handling debt, right? So if I have the biggest debt erased off of my credit report at this point in time, what liabilities am I really managing? And I really don't have any liabilities at this point because everything I have, I own. So I don't have a lien out on it. I don't have a loan that's marked against it as collateral or anything like that. So now from the face of the creditors, they're looking at it like, he's not managing anything. He's not really a grade A credit person to be able to loan money to. So let's bring his score down. So that's one of the I gotchas, or the third I gotcha, with no longer having a mortgage. Now, those are, all in all, those are really good problems to have, right? I mean, I would gladly trade, I would gladly take these three problems in terms of having no interest write-off, having no escrow that I have to manage on my own now, and then having a credit score drop down in favor of getting rid of an entire mortgage. I mean, that's really a no-brainer. But there are a lot of people who look at those aspects of it and they have a different mentality and they say, wow, you're getting rid of all of those benefits. But when you look at the grand scheme of things from the numbers standpoint, obviously it's better to not have a mortgage. And you can manage the additional income that you pocket by not having a mortgage towards other things. But again, that's all I have. If you can do me a favor, click like, subscribe, leave a comment if you're compelled to. And please, please, please share this video with all of those who are in your circle who may be interested in trying to become debt-free and build wealth. Until next time, guys, I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.